Start something called the session series. So looking at going through the sessions that we're putting on and how we continue to interconnect our habits or concepts and how that connects to the game. So the session here is here in January of 2026, looking at how do we go or how do we create the build. So in our world, build means set conditions or create the moment to attack. Attack is the speed up, the moment we exploit the advantage, the space to then score the goal. So the session is broken down into for this day. We do every Wednesday of the week. We want to do something where we're out playing and working on 1v1s or 2v1s, getting them comfortable to be on the ball, to stay on the ball, to twist and turn. So Wednesday's outplay day. So the session will then begin in a habit, but it's still based on outplay. So the first part of the session is a 1v1 with pressure from behind. So this pressure from behind is the most common type of 1v1 or outplay that we're going to experience in the game, and it's important that we can deal with it and have comfort in it and find solutions. So the exercise works where they have a teammate who can play the ball into them. The opposition start with them in behind. We do require the players to make physical contact with the defender to create that space to receive back to goal or to receive in turn. But just get in the habit, especially with the young women I work with, feeling physical contact, how to make movements to create space. So a little movement to create space, comes and finds the ball, and they have options. They can, as you see in the diagram, they're able to try to twist and turn and score on their own. They can combine back with the player who played it into them to create a 2v1 and look to score. So they have these options, and it's important because either option helps to condition how the defender responds. Additionally, the defender can press and win the ball, and then they're trying to escape out the opposite end or the counter line as it's designated in the exercise. So there is always transition the other way. What we like about this is if the player is always setting the ball back to create a 2v1, the white starts to jump or the defender starts to jump. So now we can twist and turn and read that movement. So there is some perception in knowing that the defender is conditioned by the option that it can be a 2v1, it can be a 1v1. So it's an important introductory. It moves really fast. It's really easy for the group to go. Space, you do what you need to for your players. We're going to move into a concept base. So today we have 15 players available to us. So now we're going to start to look, how do we get this idea of some of the habits and some of the movements in the 2v1s and pressure from behind and move this into a larger positional game. So right now this is set up in a 6v6 plus 3. You can see positionally we have it referenced with a goalkeeper on our in line, we have a 9 in the far, and we have a holding midfield player that's going to be in the middle. The additional teams then are playing with 6 field players with the use of the neutral players, and we have advanced these positional play games from possession for the sake of possession. Now we always are looking to go from one end to the other to create direction. So the game works like this. Team in possession is looking to move the ball from one target to the other. When they're able to do that, they have 2 scoring options. They can carry into the end zone for 1 point, so dribble and carry the ball, run with the ball into that space. Or after they link with the target player, can they then finish in the smaller goals on 1 touch for 2 points? So now we're getting these 2 options. Are we attacking the space because there we can dribble? Can we play the killer pass quickly off a link so that third player, they play the killer ball to a 4th player? So those are the things. We're trying to get those ideas. But we are looking at, do we have the patience to use the overload, to draw players forward, to find a player that can receive and play forward? And once we're able to find the target or find those players behind that last line of pressure, do we see a speed up? Do we see a change in rhythm? Do we sprint to then go? Our concepts in here are look forward, play forward, move forward. It is looking for the idea of how do we use a link player to create a third player who can play forward. So a lot of this language that our team knows and is referenced. And then from there, we do move into a small-sided game. In our world, we get a quarter of the field, and it's important for us that we get them playing as much as we can. And so to end on this, it's obviously good for the players. So they come into a 2-3-2 shape, similar kind of shape and concepts. If you look at the flow of this, it's going to be similar to what they just experienced in the positional game, but the same idea. Can we draw and attract pressure? They don't have that clear overload. Can we draw and attract pressure when we find that forward pass, someone who can look forward and play forward, and then we get there, do we have that speed up, that change of rhythm to score the goal? The thing that we're going to do with starting points is in round 1, the teams are going to start with their goalkeeper. So if whoever kicks it out, the opposite team is going to get on the ball, start with their goalkeeper, and start that build from deep. So we're trying to work from one end to the other. Given the nature of our game and what our players need to improve on, the second round, a coach or a player that's injured is going to deliver an aerial ball into the space on every restart. So that we have to go from like a 50-50 chaos moment find the ball, get it down, and then start to move the ball and create the moment for us based on what is presented to us after winning that initial 50-50 ball that's played in the space. So hopefully this helps, gives you a flow of like how we do our work. Again, this is the challenge of youth club, knowing that we have limited space. Numbers can change before we get there, but these sessions give a lot of room for flexibilities for adjusting numbers. Concepts, objectives do not change.